So today is perhaps not a information sermon as much as it is a permission sermon. But I do have two things I want to share with you about Merriment that I have discovered this last year. The first thing I've learned is that too much information can get in the way of merriment. Too much information can get in the way of being merry. So, as you may know, a couple weeks ago on July the 4th, my family and I went to a little city called Manteca, which is over by Stockton, a lovely little city. We went to this Great Wolf Lodge, which is a water park right there in Manteca. And there's a lot I could say about Manteca and Great Wolf Lodge. The one main thing I would say is avoid the slide that has a 90-degree drop of about 25 feet, and then you shoot out going about 100 miles an hour. I am still getting over that as a 49-year-old. But the other thing that I would say is that if you are going on vacation and you have a dog or a pet and you leave it with somebody who is responsible, don't think more about the pet after you have gone on vacation, which is not what I did. You see, before I left for this little vacation, I was given this little thing that Apple makes called an AirTag. Have you heard of this? An AirTag? They're about the size of a quarter, and the idea is that you can detect where anything is at any given moment if you put this device on your wallet, your keys, your car, your teenager, any of those things. You can put this little device on that thing and you can literally see where that object is from outer space. You can pinpoint to the square inch. So now, for whatever reason, I decided it would be kind of fun to put this AirTag and tape it to my dog Laddie's collar. So I thought it would be fun to see exactly where Laddie was. So I get over there to Manteca and we start to go to the water slides, and I'm starting to go down the water slide, and I decided to check my phone to see the exact location, and I think there's an image of what would show up on my phone. It could pinpoint exactly where the dog was. Now, at first I was full of like, wow, that's amazing. But then by the 100th time that I had checked my phone that day, I had checked my phone during dinner, I checked my phone during our snack, I checked my phone before we got on another water slide, I checked my phone before we went bowling. I was checking the information on my dog all day long. And at the same time, my merriment disappeared totally. You see, too much information can lead to anxiety, which pushes away merriment. Do you realize that at our fingertips right now, anybody who has a computer connected to the internet has access to any book, any scientist, any university in the whole world? Do you realize that you as a U.S. citizen know more about global affairs than any Secretary of State who lived in the year 1900? Just think about our news this last week. There was a coup attempt in Haiti. There was an internal White House memo that got leaked. There was an airliner that crashed in Russia. There was disease variants that happened to deltas around the globe. You were barraged by that information. Now, there's nothing wrong with knowing things. It's just that we need to realize that when we do get information, it will lead to a loss of merriment. There's actually an old phrase that you may have used before. Ignorance is bliss. The way that Solomon puts it is merriment is full of not knowing all the details about everything. But the last thing I want to share with you is this. It's a big revelation that I've made in my life. It hit me like a rock this last year. Maybe it has something to do with turning 49. Maybe it has something to do with the pandemic. But I just had this huge breakthrough moment that merriment is actually a choice. And I realized that I have not had very much merriment or joy or fun in my life for about 20 years. Now, don't get me wrong, there have been moments, and I have had great success, sometimes failure. I've gotten a lot done. I've checked a lot of boxes. I put a lot of stuff on the resume. But when it comes to real merriment, I think it's been like 20 years. So I shared this with my wife, Star. I said, Star, I realized in my 49th year, I really have not enjoyed my life that much in 20 years. I was surprised by her response. She said, I know. You mean my lack of merriment was noticeable to others around me? Yes. I told my personnel committee, I've decided that for the next 20 years of my ministry, that I am going to spend as much energy and focus on merriment and joy and fun as I have spent in church work. And, this is the personnel committee. I expected them to sort of say, yeah, not. They said, we know that you haven't spent much time in merriment, and we want you to work on this more. It's the greatest personnel committee in the world. So I've been working on it. It's a choice. So about a month and a half ago, I started to try to surf. Now, I am not ready for the North Shore of Hawaii by any stretch. But I will tell you, when I get out there with my friend Tim Engelman and we're out there in the waves and we're with a group of surfers and there's God's creation and there is belly laughter, there is merriment. And I will tell you that, dude, I did barrel on my knees outside a massive session wave for 200 feet to the shore, brah, which is surf talk for I did pretty well. But you know what else? I didn't check my air tag once, and neither should we.